The Iran-US-Israel war. What's happening and what makes a war illegal? Current situation, today. As of today, the conflict between Iran, the United States, and Israel is continuing to escalate. There have been direct airstrikes inside Iran, including reported strikes near Tehran. Iran has responded with missile and drone attacks targeting Israeli and U.S. assets across the region. This is no longer a contained exchange. The conflict has spread across parts of the Middle East, including Lebanon and the Gulf. Casualties are rising on multiple sides. Civilian deaths have been reported. Military losses have also been confirmed. The United Nations Security Council has held emergency meetings. Several member states have warned that the conflict risks breaching international law. Calls for de-escalation have so far not changed the military trajectory. The US government says this is not intended to become a long war, but has not set a clear endpoint. What is an illegal war? Under international law, the starting point is very simple. War is illegal by default. The United Nations Charter prohibits the use of force between states. There are only two legal exceptions. First, self-defense, but only in response to an actual or imminent armed attack. Second, explicit authorization by the UN Security Council. If a state uses military force outside those two conditions, it is considered an illegal use of force under international law. This is separate from war crimes. War crimes are actions taken during a war, such as targeting civilians. An illegal war can include war crimes, but even a legal war can contain war crimes. In short, a war can be illegal even if it is fought cleanly, and a legal war can still involve criminal acts. Wars widely regarded as illegal. There is debate in international law, but many conflicts are broadly viewed by legal scholars as unlawful. The 2003 invasion of Iraq. The US-led invasion had no clear UN Security Council mandate. Claims about weapons of mass destruction were later discredited. Most international lawyers and several UN officials called it a breach of the UN Charter. Russia's invasions of Ukraine. Both the 2014 annexation of Crimea and the 2022 full-scale invasion are widely regarded as illegal. They were not acts of self-defense. They were not authorized by the UN. NATO's bombing of Yugoslavia in 1999. This intervention was carried out without Security Council approval. Some argue it was morally justified on humanitarian grounds. Legally, it remains highly contested. The Soviet invasion of Afghanistan in 1979. The USSR intervened without UN authorization. It was broadly condemned as an unlawful use of force. The Saudi-led war in Yemen. The legal basis is disputed. Even where consent was claimed, large parts of the campaign have been criticized as unlawful, with extensive violations of humanitarian law documented. Where does the Iran-US-Israel war sit legally? This is now one of the central global legal questions. Supporters of the strikes argue self-defense, particularly preemptive defense against future threats. Critics argue that preemptive war is not recognized under the UN Charter unless an attack is genuinely imminent. At present, there is no UN Security Council authorization for this war. No international court has yet ruled on legality. But multiple states and UN officials have already described aspects of the campaign as unlawful. If that view hardens, this conflict may come to be classified, historically and legally, as an illegal war of aggression. This is an infopod by Politica UK, 2026, Sania Delamare.